I'm going to take that all as soon as this is all over.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a nice way for me to reflect on it and think about, what's to come for TALAMASCA, but also to think deeply about Anne Rice. And I didn't want to overshroud it.
They're quite dense. They take a long time to read.
Well, people say that the Vampire Lestat is insane, like amazing. Celine, who plays Doris, is reading it at the moment, and she says, once this is over, because I know you're not reading everything now, read that book, because it's just amazing.
It is. It's cool how prescient a lot of the themes are now when it was written, like published in '85.
Right.
Yeah, there's like a lot of like queerness and like gender exploration that's interesting in that book that I'm like, this sounds like it was written now, and it's just crazy to me that it was written in 1985.
But I think that's what makes it so, like, Anne Rice's work so ubiquitously accepted. Like, everyone from different crew, like different worlds, subcultures, the queer community, they can access this and feel accepted in it. I mean, that's what I felt at Comic-Con, because I was like, all of these people are so in love with the fantasy and genre stuff because they feel seen by it. They feel really accepted by it. And I think that's why Interview in particular has done so well with the queer community, because people are like, oh, I see myself in Louis and Lestat. I think I love that about it.
Yeah.
And there's like a sexuality in a lot of it that feels kind of, not sordid, but like dark and kind of like mysterious.
Yeah.
It's nice that, Anne Rice dips into that, because it allows people to feel kind of accepted in their sexuality, accepted into their feelings and their actions in life. Maybe that is the atmosphere that club brought, that club scene brings, is it's really like hot and like heavy, and like it feels so gnarly inside this kind of like cave, and like all these people around, and this boof, boof, boof. Yeah, that was a crazy scene to film. But yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I was pretty gagged by that scene. Like, for that to be Olive's first appearance, where it's just like flashing lights, and then boom, she's there. I was like, oh, okay.
I think Maisie was like, whoa, this is so intense.
Really cool entrance.
And we had these cameras shooting, like John Schwartzman was shooting it from like up on like the balcony over there. We had a camera on that side, so we didn't know where the cameras were. And we had probably 80 different essays on there as well, just dancing. We were in Oldham in England, north of England, and they'd locked down this club, and they'd brought in like 80 to 100 extras, and they were just like heaving, and they just shot the close-ups from out at, like, I didn't know where the close-ups were coming from, I didn't know where the mid-shots were coming from. So it made us feel very like, it's very real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it does set up a very nice launch pad for what's to come with Olive.
Yeah, for sure. And did you have music playing there? Or because I know sometimes when they film these like dance scenes in movies and TV, you can't have music, right?
We didn't.
So it's so silent. That's so weird. How do you
so
like
weird,
stay?
man.
I mean, it's your job to stay in it as an actor, but that must be so weird.
It's weird when you hear people going like, oh, ooh, because I was like, this is so bizarre. And to hear like 120 people do that, it sounds, lots of grunts, lots of panting. It was really fun. It's like, it's so funny.
It's like a silent disco, but not as fun.
Yeah, the silent discos are always kind of PG. This was like R-rated silent disco. But just on that quickly, all those essays that came on for that were huge Anne Rice fans. So when they put the casting call out, it was like people came in droves to just like get onto that set. And I remember like some of them were like, this is for interviews. I'm like, nah, this is for TALAMASCA. Oh. This is a different one. It's fair, but it's in the same universe. And you're like, if it's in the universe, I'm happy to be here. That's
so funny. Were there other scenes like that in the season, or was it just like wherein you had like brought in like Anne Rice fans?
Well, they just showed up because it's such a big, it's a huge reach, that show, those shows and those books. And they were always predominantly, they were between like 20 and 30, who would be like, which is cool because it's like, the young generation is not just sort of like TikTok fans. There's also this culture of just loving genre and loving books and loving goth and loving fantasy. And yeah, it was cool. I don't know who wrote those ones. I don't know who... Yeah, you do see a shot of it, don't you? I'm not sure who wrote those ones. But definitely it would have been the writers.
Yeah, for sure.
But I know that there was a lot of chat with Roland Jones about where Daniel was going in his story, in that story. So I know that John Lee and Mark Lafferty were very much in chats with Roland about what was happening with Daniel. Because I think that's cool. They kind of didn't necessarily write things for Daniel, for Eric. There was a bit of a relationship in the discussion of what does he say? How does he talk? How does he like to, what would be correct for what's going on in season 3 for interview, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like, from what I understand, it's meant to be in between the plot of season 2 and season 3.
That's right, because it's all kind of like, they're going, we're going, they're going, we're going, and that's the contemporary element to it. I don't think he knew much about it, but
that might be like a guy thing, right? Because he doesn't seem very tapped into the world.
No, he's not, and I think that was really important to make him feel like this kind of everyman. Like he kind of lives on the outside. He's very focused on his kind of intellect, keeping things in control, keeping his mind at bay. I don't know if he had much room for reading those kind of books necessarily, or getting into that. I think he was about studying, knuckling down. I mean, he's a law student, so he wasn't necessarily, some have their own love for it, but he wasn't in that world. And he's not in that world until he gets in that world, because you want to find him go, okay, this is all brand new to me. The fact that Burton is a vampire, the fact that Jason Schwartzman's playing Burton is a vampire, is absurd. The concept of a vampire is absurd. He doesn't know anything about them.
Yeah.
Until he does. Well, yeah, we talked about that, like how adept was he with like women, for example, and I think that he does have quite a. He's confident to a degree, and I think he's had partners and whatnot, but never like a relationship, nothing like that. I think he really found himself in a very privileged position, studied really hard, had come from hardship, growing up Detroit and living with adopted parents and whatnot, and I think he's always felt this sense of loneliness, something missing. And that was a nice reason for when he starts to launch into his new kind of journey in middle of episode 1. He's looking for something that was meant to be there all along. That hole that was missing, that something missing from inside of him. He goes after it, which is nice because it echoes what happens with Helen in episode 6, in the episode 5, when they're in the strip club with the plexiglass window between them.
Yeah.
And that's where he connects with Helen. He doesn't lie.
Yeah.
He does not lie. And I think one of the values of Guy is like, I need truth, clarity, and I just don't want anyone to lie to me. Not anymore. Mm-hmm. Not after what's happened. So when he meets Jasper, and Bill's so good at this because he's got such conviction in the way that he delivers his lines and the way that he plays Jasper. And it's kind of like an American thing. I feel like I believe everything Americans say to me sometimes, because they just
Why?
say, I don't know, maybe it's New Yorkers that have it with New Yorkers, because they're like, don't go over there. And I'm like, okay, I won't. I'll just go over here.
I trust you.
Yeah, I trust you. I like the way you just said it so with such conviction.
Yeah.
But Jasper, and he's got this like internal kind of like world that's so strong that Bill brings. So you kind of really trust him. With Helen, he's been lied to. When they have that scene, I think they're in Central Park, and he asks her, what do you know about my family? And she says, just as much as I know as much as you do. It's not a full lie, but it's definitely a half truth. And so when he comes in episode 2 and says, no more lies, don't lie to me. But they keep coming, thick and fast. So when he meets Jasper, he's like, okay, I can trust you, because I believe that you're telling me the truth.
Yeah, but I still feel that he has some kind of connection to Helen. Do you think that's true?
He's got no other choice. He needs the TALAMASCA, because they're the only ones that know where his mother is. They're the only ones that have that intel, and he doesn't want to join them, but he has to. He has no other option. And Helen, Helen being Helen's our first access point to the TALAMASCA, and you like her. You really like her, and Elizabeth brings a warmth and a strength and like a power to Helen that is so palpable. It's hard to not fall into her, be like, give me a hug,
Yeah.
You really want that. You don't get it, but you want her to give him a hug and be like, I got you, I've got you, I see you, and I've kind of raised you more or less from a distance. She has raised Guy from a distance. She's put these plans and ideas and tests out for him, and when she sees him like doing things, going out there, achieving goals and like doing spy stuff, I think she's quietly proud, like, oh, my guy's doing it, like, well done. There's a scene in episode 2 when they're in the graveyard and they're kind of, it's like, this is, you're going to go off on your own, on your new journey. You're going to you're going to London. Everything's going to change for you. And she hasn't even told him her name. And he turns to her and goes, you haven't told me your name. Like, what's your name? And she's like, there's a relief in telling him about something personal to her. It's like, oh, cool. My name's Helen. Let's make this more personal. And I think for Elizabeth, it was a beautiful line because she just thinks that Guy knows her name. Thinks the Guy knows her because she's spent so much time with him, but he's had no idea who she is. So when she goes, oh, it's Helen. Like, I thought you knew that. I thought you knew who I was. But it's like, I don't know you. Like, he doesn't know her from a bar of soap. So that dynamic is so brilliant for that reason. She's his handler, you know, and that's kind of her job. I don't think he's thrilled that she betrays him, you know. I don't think he's thrilled that she betrays everything later on. But I think there's something about her character that, I don't know. There is a kind of, I haven't really thought about it. There's a connection between them that feels like we're both a part of this, but we're both not necessarily. We don't believe everything that's being told to us.
Right.
You know, when that scene happens in, I think, episode 3, when she starts to question the 752. And it's nice to hear someone who's skeptical of this absurd concept of the 752 that he's hearing. It's like, how can this be a legit thing? You know, how can this be true? And when she talks all this stuff about 752, and she says, you know, we don't necessarily believe it. And he's like, okay, cool. Maybe we do have a connection here. Maybe she is not telling the truth, Helen, inside. So there's a connection there for that reason. Kevis and Guy have everything's fun.
Yeah.
It's so light. After all of this stress and strain that he's been under with the training, doing all this stuff, moving cities, moving to different countries, like, she brings this lightness, and you really feel it in episode 2. Like, bang, like, we get this amazingly fun, you know, and Amelia's so brilliant at playing it because she's so bubbly and so much fun. So I think that's I love the energy, and it's so heartbreaking when that falls apart at the end of episode 2. I think he likes them because they are so open about their grief. Like, they're you know, when Jasper talks to him, he talks with like a real soul to him. You know, he really says that this is what I've been through. This is where I come, and it's fascinating. It's also an incredible, like, deep dive, and Guy connects with that so deeply. I mean, sure, there's some really cool elements to being a vampire. Nicholas, I would never want to be a vampire.
Really?
I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could have the immortal. I couldn't live that way. I don't want to live for eternity.
Yeah. What's like a low stakes thing you would become a vampire for, if anything? Because me, like, I would become a vampire to smoke cigarettes with no consequences.
Oh, that's cool, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
That's
like,
cool.
you wouldn't have.
I won't die.
Yeah, like, no lung cancer for me. Great, you know?
And I'll always kind of look good.
Yeah.
Depending on when you get turned.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I mean, if you're not looking good in the moment, the vampirism will just fix it.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. You just heat yourself with a bit of that blood and you'll be okay.
Switch.
I knew loosely what was going to happen because it was on the page. And so we'd read that scene and go, okay, this is amazing. Like, it is so amazing to read that and to see it actually like come to life on screen as it was written is incredible. We shot that for, I think, a week and a half.
Wow.
I think we shot like 160 separate angles, like
Wow.
so many setups on that. And we were breaking for Christmas straight after, and we were so like, we were so happy to get out of that room because we spent so long in there, but it built this like echo chamber of and we shot it sequentially. So when I got in there with Justin Kirk and we meet Vaughn, like Chitty, when he's coming up here, like stands there, he lets us both in. It's so scary when he opens those doors and and then Harris is at the back, and it's just, you feel this intensity of that scene. Because as soon as you walk in there, you know you're in a bad place. And you kind of think you've got your homie, you think you got Raglan with you, but nah, man.
Not him.
He's the most elusive of them all.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so slippery. So when he turns on, like when that happens with Guy and he kind of tries to like hand him over, it's scary. It's really scary. But Howard Berger and his team, like, and that stunt team, getting all those guys to just get ripped apart, just like, so good.
And it's funny.
It's so funny.
Like
it's
when
so
you
absurd.
go into the room and you see the bodies and the blood everywhere, it's kind of like, oh, good job, Checkers. That was like,
Yeah, I know.
go Checkers.
And I think they did an ADR line for Justin Kirk, which was, I think they tried a different, like bunch of different lines, like, oh God, or like, ew. And all of them worked. Like,
Yeah.
so fun. I think that what I like about playing with Raglan is that you think you can kind of, he reacts really big to things that go wrong for him. So when Guy starts to read his mind, he loses his shit. Like he kind of like just loses it. But then I'm also like, are you actually losing his shit? Or are you actually kind of like, is that a show? Are you just trying to make me feel like I've got one up on you? Are you trying to make Guy feel like he's got some skin in the game? But really, Raglan's got everything. He knows exactly what his intentions are. He's playing him. He's always playing people. And I think that's fun.
It is really fun. There's lots of layers to it, for sure.
He's such a wild character. Mm-hmm. And I'm a huge fan of Justin Kirk, so whatever. I just think, I'm like, you're amazing. Yeah, I'm hopeful for a lot of that. Guy and Doris's relationship is really strong. We built this kind of, and not necessarily a relationship that is based in like a physical attraction, but like we actually need something from each other in a friendship way as well. Like, I need you and you need me, and we've been looking out for each other. Let's go and see where this takes us. Let's see how far we can run with this. And I mean, there's a lot to unpack for those two. Also a lot for Helen, a lot for Jasper. The first season is really interesting because you've got to start, you're setting up a new world, new lore, new characters. You're building them up and you want to set them free. Let them go nuts on the world. And that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, it feels like the setup to an adventure.
Massively. Because we've been in England the entire time. Mm-hmm. There's the rest of the world to cover.